Welcome to Stretch and Flow with Rashi. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, please subscribe when you have a chance for plenty of more classes to come. Thanks and enjoy today's special class.
Hello everyone, it's Rashi here from Stretch and Flow. As you can see, I'm at the beautiful farm studio. It's a beautiful sunny day, autumn day, and I thought I'd film here so you can have a beautiful view of the paddock behind me. Today I'm just going to do a pure stretch, a little bit of breath work and mindfulness, but purely being mindful of your breath as you stretch rather than focusing on a philosophy. And these stretches are really designed for everyone, so anybody can do them, but I've been asked particularly for those that are playing sport. So especially if you're playing a sport like cricket or basketball, netball, or even soccer, football, a whole range of sports where you're using a lot of your shoulders and the arms, like especially if you're bowling in cricket or shooting a hoop sport, and also with athletes as well, you know, legs and running. So it's a kind of all over body stretch, but neck, shoulders, legs, calves, your adductor muscles, which can tend to get a little bit tight if you're quite an advanced player or if you play regularly. So we'll just go through a series of stretches, and as I'm just doing the stretch, I'd really love you to just focus on your inhale, your exhale, to really be totally present. So that's the mindfulness for today's class, is just to be totally present with what you're feeling. If the muscles are a little tight and you need to go a bit more gentle, then go ahead. If you feel like you need to add on to that stretch, then perhaps push a little bit harder. So as always, take responsibility for your practice. Short, sharp pain, just back off. But if it feels like a good stretch, then feel free to add on. So we will start just with a little bit of breath work, just to get yourself nice and present into your practice. So whichever seated position is comfortable for you, whether cross-legged like me, which is comfortable for me, or if you've got tension in your hips, just pop your legs out straight or even come down onto your knees. So you can keep the eyes open or shut, and we'll just do a few rounds of inhales and exhales, and perhaps I'll just count you through it. And if at any time your mind starts to wander during the practice, just come back to that breath. So let's start perhaps by just being aware of the body. Notice any tender spots as you're in your seated posture. Let's just take a few breaths together. So as you inhale, take the inhale in through the nostrils. Maybe just count for 1, 2, take a pause. Exhale the breath for 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, pause. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, pause. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Let's do a couple more rounds of breath just like that, noticing where the mind is right now, and again letting that breath just be your focus for now, but also as we begin to move through the stretches. So just do a couple more in your own breath rate. You can add to the counts if you feel to, or just keep them the same. The eyes are shut, just gently open the eyes. Lift up through the crown of the head. We're bringing the arms behind us and just interlacing opposite palms to opposite elbows. So place the opposite palm onto the opposite elbow, like you're just grabbing hold of the elbows. Maybe I'll turn around so you can see what I'm doing. And then lengthening through the spine, so you'll start to feel a stretch across the shoulder blades. Really pull the shoulder blades apart, so almost like the chest pops out a little bit and the waist pushes back. Feel that stretch first and then just neutralize the spine, so softening the front ribs. Take a breath in, so lift up through the crown of the head. As you breathe out, just tip the head over to the right. You feel a stretch down the left side. Just hold the breath, inhaling again for 1, 2, pause. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. On the breath in, lift the head back up. Take that little back bend again, so pulling the shoulders apart, pushing the chest forward and the waist back. You can gaze up too if you want that extra neck stretch. Take a breath in, let the breath go. And then bring the spine back to neutral. Another inhale, again lengthen through the crown of the head. As you exhale, tip the head over to the left and you feel that stretch down the right side of the neck. Sometimes this area can get a little bit tight, especially for cricketers in their bowling action, the shoulders and the neck. So inhale for 1, 2, pause. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Bring the spine back up to neutral. Inhale, release the arms, just take a big stretch, take an inhale up. As you exhale, just drop the hands out to the side, but stretch the arms away from each other. Do one more like that. So inhale, really reach up, like you're extending through the spine. And as you exhale, floating the arms back out. Take a rotation of the shoulders. Inhale, the shoulders come up. Exhale, you rotate them one way, really feeling any tender spots. Do that the same way, so inhaling, the shoulders come up. Exhale, rotating the same way. And then take it over the other side. Breathing in, the shoulders come up. As you exhale, rotate them in the opposite direction. One more like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Then come back to a neutral spine. Inhale, the right arm reaches up nice and tall. Take a breath in. As you exhale, float it over to the left, but keep it at chest height. Another stretch for the shoulder area here. The left arm comes onto the right shoulder. Just give it a gentle massage first. Just giving yourself a bit of loving care. And then very gently start to bring the palms onto the right wrist. So the left fingertips are holding the right wrist and you're just gently guiding the arm across to the left. Be careful if there's shoulder sensitivities here. Try and keep the arm at chest height. And then come into that breath. So breath is such a good place just to keep focused and to bring clarity. And those of you that are in sports that are doing this stretch, I invite you to use your breath for focus and clarity when you're bowling, when you're shooting a hoop, when you're running. If your mind is distracted, come back to that beautiful sweet breath. It's with you all the time. One more breath here. And then gently just releasing the arms back down. Just inhale the arms up. Take a big circle as you exhale, floating the arms into a big rotation. One more the same way. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, a rotation. And then the left arm reaches up. Feel the stretch down the left side first, and then bring it across to the right side of the body. Chest height again. The right arm comes onto that left shoulder, just giving it a gentle massage. Might want to massage the arm all the way down as it comes to the wrist. So the right fingertips are holding on to the left wrist. Take a breath in, lengthen through the spine. As you breathe out, just gently guiding it across to the right, feeling that stretch down that left shoulder area, keeping the breath fluid, perhaps even softening the jaw a little. And again, if you want to add on a little bit, just tug it a little harder. If the shoulders are sensitive, then you just back off a little. Let's hold it for an inhale. 1, 2, pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. And then gently just dropping the hand back down. This time take that big circular rotation the other way. So the arms come out to the side. For me, the circles go backwards, but you do the opposite way to that what you did before. Inhale, you're reaching up again. Exhale, taking that circular motion. Let's do one more. Breathing in to reach up and breathing out. And then very gently make your way onto all fours. So knees are roughly hip width apart, palms are shoulder width apart. So you just take a gentle rock from side to side. And sometimes, I know I've got a husband and 2 sons that play cricket and daughters that play basketball, that dance and do gymnastics. Sometimes the back muscles can get a little bit tight with some of the repetitive actions that you do in sports. So let's just stretch those, just rocking the hips towards the heels first and then rocking over towards the palm. Just do a couple more. And then come back to a neutral spine when you're ready, on all fours. Soften through the shoulders, so micro bend the elbows. Let's take some cat-cow curls. On the breath in, the waist goes back and the gaze goes up. And on the breath out, rounding and arching. Couple more like that. So breathing in, the waist goes back and the gaze goes up. As you exhale, rounding and arching, like you're rippling the spine from one movement to the other. Let's do one more. Inhaling in and exhaling in. Coming back to a neutral spine. Let's come into a pose which gives you a really beautiful extension of the spine. So come onto the finger mounds, creep them to the edges of the mat. Once you've reached your limit, perhaps creep them a little bit further. And then the chest drops down to the mat as the hips push up towards the ceiling. So this gives a beautiful extension of the spine, really stretches all those muscles in between the ribs. For those of you perhaps where your upper back is a little bit sensitive, turn the eye gaze up to the front of the mat, but keep pushing the chest down and the hips up towards the ceiling. Notice what's happened to your breath. That's your focus point. That's your point of clarity. It brings you back to the present moment. And that's a great skill to have, especially in competitive sports. One more breath. And then gently just start to walk the hands back. So if the back is particularly sensitive, you can stay on all fours and keep taking those cat-cow curls like I'm showing now. If you want a little bit more in the spine and get a deeper extension of the spine, dig the toes in, lift the hips up, bend the knees first so the hips are pointing up towards the ceiling, and then to your degree you can straighten the legs. The upper body pushes back towards the thighs. The gaze is up at the navel or in between the gap in the legs to take any tension off the neck. And then widen the collarbones, like the inner arms are pulling in together. There's no tension in the shoulders and the neck. Now if this is too much, you just drop onto your knees and take some cat-cow curls. Otherwise, keep pushing that upper body back towards the thighs. Widen through the collarbones. Take a breath in. Let the breath go. We'll hold it for another inhale and exhale. So this works on the leg muscles as well, the spine. Engage the core a little by floating the belly button to the spine. And then you feel the arm muscles working too. One more breath. And then very gently, if you're in this pose, just lift the heels up and tip your toe up towards your palms. Once you're there, if you're on all fours, you can meet us here. Just bend the knees and drop the upper body over the thighs. So just taking any tension off the back again. This is another nice stretch for the back. And if the back or the lower back is particularly sensitive, bend the knees a lot. And then just come into the breath. Make sure the back of the neck is soft, so the crown of the head is towards the mat. And like you might even want to place your fingertips on the back of the neck, almost like you're just ironing out any crinkles. And just letting any tension drop out through the crown of the head. Notice that breath. If you need to do the count, the inhale for 1, 2, pause. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Go ahead. And then very gently engage the core, so belly button to spine. And then just start to come up one vertebra at a time until you come all the way up to standing, peeling the shoulders back, lifting the crown of the head up. Let's take a deep inhale in through the nose. Let's inhale the right arm up. As you exhale, wrap it behind the back. The left arm comes onto the right elbow, and then we're gently just guiding that elbow over to the left, and you feel a beautiful stretch in the shoulder, a little bit in the arm too, but predominantly in that right shoulder. Couple it with some deeper breaths, so inhaling in, exhaling out. Let's do one more. Inhaling, keep pulling that right arm to the left, and exhaling. And then just gently release out of the stretch. Just shrug the shoulders a couple of times and drop them down. Inhaling up and then dropping them down. The left arm reaches up, take a breath in. As you breathe out, wrapping it behind your back. This time the right palm comes onto that left elbow, and then you're gently guiding the left elbow and the arm to the right. Keep the feet firmly grounded, equal weight into both feet. You feel that same stretch, but on the left side of the body, the left shoulder blade. Keep that breath flowing, inhaling, exhaling. One more breath. And then gently just releasing out of the stretch, shrugging the shoulders up and down. Another one, inhale and down. And then we're coming into stretching with some stretches for the legs. So stand perhaps at the top of the mat. Step the right foot forward. The left foot comes back a little bit, just so that the hips are roughly square on. So for me, I have to angle my back foot a little bit to get that comfort with my hips. So play around with the feet. For some of you, you might want to bring the feet a little bit wider. And then we're lifting up the right leg, so the right foot, bending the left knee, keeping that right leg straight, interlacing the palms and placing them on the thighs, and just coming down as low as you want to feel that stretch. So bending the left knee, the right leg is straight. You can drop the head towards the extended leg. Some of you that want to take it further, the right palm can come and pull the toes back. You feel the stretch down the hamstring, down the leg, the calf. Take a breath in. Let the breath go as you deepen into the stretch. One more, inhaling in to lengthen through the spine. Perhaps exhaling, taking the stretch a little bit deeper. One more breath. And then gently just drop the foot back down. And then just swap over, take it on the other side. So this time the left leg comes in front, the back foot, adjust it so the hips are roughly square. Lifting the toes of the left leg up, bending the right knee this time, interlacing the fingertips and placing them on that front thigh, and then just lunging down. With that inhale, just subtly lengthen through the crown of the head, and with the exhale, perhaps coming down a little bit more. One more breath, inhaling and exhaling. And if you want to take it further, reach for the toes, pull them towards you as the body lowers down. You feel a stretch in the hamstring. Sometimes in athletes, very fit people, the hamstrings can feel a little bit tight. That's why it's so important to stretch before and after trainings, games. One more breath. And then dropping the foot down, just gently coming back out of the stretch. And standing with the feet roughly hip width distance. Just get your sweet spot, your center spot. So if you feel like you need to hold on to something for this, feel free to hold on to something. If you want to bring a little bit more focus and clarity and a little bit more mindfulness, try and come into it in a balance. So we're putting all the weight into the left foot and the left leg. Keep that nice and firm. We're bringing the right knee up first, so just give it a squeeze into the chest. And then we're flicking the foot back, catching it with both hands if you're wanting a balance. If you feel a balance isn't for you, then you can hold on to a wall or a chair or something with one hand. Whether you're in a balance or not, for that mindfulness, keep your eye gaze at one spot and keep focused, and then focus on your inhales and exhales. So you can count, so inhaling again, 1, 2, pause, exhaling, 1, 2, 3. Do another round of breath like that. If you've got the foot, really pull it towards you. This is great for the quadriceps. One more breath, and then gently, just mindfully releasing out of the stretch. Just inhaling, come onto your tippy toes. Exhaling, drop the toes down, lift up. Inhaling, coming onto your tippy toes. Exhaling, dropping the foot down, curling the toes up. One more. Inhaling to lift up. Exhaling to drop down, and then taking it on the other side. So this time the left knee comes up, give it a little squeeze, you might get a little pull in the hip flexor, and then flicking the foot round, catching it with one or both hands. That eye gaze is at one spot for that focus and clarity. Feel the stretch in the quads, and then come into your breath. We're taking 3 rounds of breath here in your own breath cycle. Weights in that right foot, you're focused. Your eye gaze is at one spot. One more breath. And then just releasing the foot gently down. Then coming back down onto your mat. Coming back onto all fours first. So just give the hips a little shake. And then we're extending the right leg behind you. As you exhale, bring it all the way through. Scoot the left knee back so that leg is a little straighter. Keep pressure in that front foot and hug the inner thighs together. And then start to lift the body up. Place the palms on that front thigh and just gently lunge forward. So stretching the hips, stretching the legs, keeping length in the spine. Inhale, just pushing yourself up. Exhale, lunging a little bit more. One more. Inhale and exhale. And then gently dropping the hands either side of that front foot. Start to straighten the leg. Again, a stretch for the hamstrings. You can lift the toes up if you want to go deeper. Grab hold of the toes, pull them towards you. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, perhaps floating the body down a little bit more. One more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to float down. And then gently dropping the foot, walking the hands back. And then just scooting that right knee back. Come back onto all fours. Let's take it straight onto the other side. The left leg extends behind you as you exhale, bringing it through. Sliding the right knee back this time. Once you feel stable in the feet, again keep that focused mind. Firstly by focusing your eye gaze and then focus on your breath. Slow down your breath, the mind will then follow. And then bringing the body up, placing the palms on that front thigh. Inhale, create length first. Exhale, let's take the stretch on the other side of the body. Breathing in to lengthen. And breathing out, taking the stretch. One more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to stretch. Inhale, come back to neutral. Drop the hands either side of the foot and then walking back so you're straightening that front leg. Lifting the toes up if you want to go a bit deeper and pulling them back. Inhale, you lengthen through the spine. Exhale, pull the toes and drop the body down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to float down. Let's do one more. Breathing in and breathing out. Dropping the foot back down. Scooting the right knee back. And then just coming back onto your feet again. This time bringing the feet nice and wide on your mat. As wide as you want to take the stretch. Straighten the legs, hands on hips. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lunge with the right knee and keep the left leg straight. So this is working the leg muscles, the inner thighs. It's a great stretch for the whole of the leg. Inhale, you come back up. Exhale, lunging with the left knee as you keep the right leg straight. Let's do one more on each side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to take the stretch. Breath is flowing. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, come back to neutral. Just scoot the feet back together. Come down onto your mat. So coming down onto your mat. And come down onto the front of the body. So the feet are together. It's like a modified plank. The palms are a little bit wider than shoulder width, but again play around with your body structure. You're engaging the core, so there's no dumping into the back. And then taking a back bend. So this is good for the back, the shoulders. Take any tension through the shoulders. The gaze can be neutral or you can gaze up. If you're jumping in the back, round up through the shoulders a little bit more and engage the core. Take a breath in, let the breath go. On the inhale, a subtle lengthening. You might want to gaze up and deepen the back bend. On the exhale, drop the left hip and gaze over the right shoulder. This is getting into the side body a little too. Inhale, come back to neutral. As you exhale, drop the right hip and gaze over the left shoulder. Do one more in your own breath. So inhale, you take the back bend, but you engage the core, not the back. As you exhale, dropping one hip and gazing over the opposite shoulder. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Exhale, the other side. Come back to neutral, walk the hands back. Widen the knees, bring the two big toes together, just drop yourself in this forward fold. You can come onto the finger mound, pushing hips towards the back of the mat as you reach forward with the fingertips. Another beautiful stretch, not only of the hip flexors, but also of the spine. If you want a deeper stretch of the spine, bring the arms in the middle of the mat, interlace the fingers, and then pull the fingertips to the front of the mat as the hips drop to the back. You'll feel a beautiful stretch of the whole of the spine. Gaze is low, so there's no straining in the neck. One more breath. And then gently start to walk yourself out of the stretch. Come down onto your back. Just bring the knees in for a squeeze once the shoulders and the spine have landed. A gentle rock from side to side. So again, this is beautiful for massaging the lower back, perhaps releasing any tension. Might just take that a little bit further. So dropping the left knee, the left foot, the knees pointing up. Bring the right knee in for a squeeze. Take a breath in, let the breath go. As you bring the knee in for a squeeze, just lift the head up, engage the core. Hold it for 1, 2, 3. The head drops back down. And just bring the left arm behind you as you hug the right knee in towards you. For some of you, you might even want to wrap your elbow around that right knee, getting into that right hip flexor as you extend the left arm. One more breath. And then bringing the arm back down by your side. This time extend the left leg down the mat. The right arm comes out to the side. You're holding the right knee with the left arm. Take a spinal twist. So bringing that knee across to the left. The gaze can be to the right outstretched arm. And twist a beautiful, again to release any tension in the spine. They're good for detoxing as well. So make sure you really focus on the breath in your twist. For those wanting an added quad stretch, flick the left foot up and catch it with the right palm and pull the foot towards you, especially if the quads are a little bit tender and feeling a little bit tight. And keep pushing the right knee over to the left. Hold it for a breath in, let the breath go. If you've got that left foot, just gently release it. Bring the right knee back into the chest. Bring the left knee to meet it. Again, a gentle rock from side to side. Maybe some rotation. One way and then the other way. And then when you're ready, drop the right foot down. Bring the left knee in for a squeeze. Take a breath in, let the breath go. On your inhale, keep squeezing the left knee in as you bring the head up. Holding it for 3, 2, 1. The head drops back down. This time again, as you wrap the elbow perhaps around that left knee, hugging it in, bring the right arm behind you and really reach back with the fingers. Keeping the spine on the mat. Try not to let the back arch up. Another breath in, let the breath go. And then gently bringing that right arm back. Swap it with the left arm, so hugging the left knee with the right palm this time. The left arm comes out to the side and you use your right palm to take a twist over to the right. The right leg is extended down onto the mat. So you can either stay here in the twist, feeling the twist on the other side of the body. If you're wanting that added quad stretch, flicking the right foot up and catching it with the left hand, pulling it towards you, feeling the stretch on the quad on the other side. Really keep the breath flowing. Inhaling and exhaling. Another breath in. Let the breath go. If you have hold of that right foot, gently releasing it, guiding the left knee back, just bring the right knee. Let's take a final squeeze of the knees from side to side. Dropping the feet on the floor, perhaps rolling over to your side first, pushing yourself up, and let's just finish with some mindful breaths. Noticing how the body's feeling. Maybe taking a rock of the hips from side to side as you find that center of gravity. Maybe take a rotation of the shoulders, just noticing how they feel compared to the beginning of the practice. Even dropping the head from side to side perhaps. Just moving mindfully. And then sitting up nice and tall. Let's just take a couple rounds of breaths together. Let's try and lengthen the breath. Soften through the shoulder. Inhale this time for 1, 2, 3, pause. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, pause. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, pause. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we are, a stretch for everyone, but particularly focused on those that perhaps play a lot of sports. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next clip.
Once again, thank you for joining Stretch and Flow with Rashi. We hope you've enjoyed the class. Please email any questions you might have, and please also subscribe to this channel. Thank you.
Please subscribe.